Good evening and welcome to The Core, coming to you live from Channels Television Studios in Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Kadria Ahmed. In Benue State, communities have been sacked, people killed, and children have become orphans. It is alleged that herdsmen are responsible. In Taraba's Mambila Plateau, similar carnage has taken place, and generations have been wiped out. In some families, in these cases, farmers are alleged to be the culprits. Right across Nigeria, from communities in Zamfara, Adamawa to Edo and Ekiti, there are reports of conflict between armed farmers and herdsmen which have turned deadly, with loss of lives and destruction of property, mostly attributed to herdsmen. But are these reports accurate? And has the complete story of what is really going on in these communities been told? On The Core today, we will be exploring all sides of the story. But first, this report, which we put together after traveling through affected areas in Benue and Taraba states.
The people of Logo in Ugba and Guma villages in Benue State, and the people of Warwara, Kabri and Mbamga wards in Taraba State, the Mambila Plateau, have a few things in common. They have faced vicious attacks in the last few months, leading to the destruction of their homes, horrific physical injuries, and the brutal killing of their families and friends.
In order to protect myself, I climbed up a tree and hid myself. I watched my pregnant wife being slaughtered. Her belly opened up and my unborn child ripped out of her, killed and placed on the chest of my dead wife. I lost everything.
We were all sleeping. Then we heard screams, got confused. We stamped out. We saw a lot of other people trying to find out what was happening. I ran back in, woke my siblings, and we started running. The screams we heard, we called for help. Then heard a gunshot. That was how we ran to Anyin village.
The first person that shot was my brother. He was shot by one person who is called Namia. Mr. Namia, we met with him at the riverside. They shot him dead. They're followed by my father, Alhaji Umaru Yandi, by my brother, Adamu Yandi, Adamu Doma Yandi, by my stepmother, Adama Yandi, by my uncle, Abdu Yerima Bode, my uncle, his son, Dahiru Abdu, and last, Yusufa Yerima Bode, the junior brother to my father. He himself, they met him inside the house, he escaped. They went and killed him behind the house. He's his teacher, he's a teacher. And it's a teacher that killed him, who is his colleague.
They cut my son's hands and legs, and the neck, raised him up, and the second was shot from behind, and bullet came out of his chest.
Another thing the Mbamga and Logo people have in common is that all of these victims claim that they had lived in peace for many years with the people they allege attacked them.
We used to live together in peace with the Fulanis, but we did not know why they have decided to start killing us. The Fulanis just want to bring problems.
They know us, we were in good relationship with them. They work for us, we have no problem with them.
In the past, according to them, the old conflict was usually resolved through dialogue and mediation by traditional and community leaders.
The courts are there, one, elders are there, the community leaders, and even to some extent some religious leaders. Whenever there are problems, we go to them, more especially the traditional council. All tribes are adequately represented. Whenever there's a problem, we go to them and they will resolve conflicts.
We have organized friendly football match between us and the Fulanis, after which 2 cows were killed and shared to no avail. No one touched any Fulani man's cattle.
This testimony is greatly at odds with the reality of death we saw in our travels. The suffering of victims was acute, the failure to get justice was evident, and the stench of impunity was everywhere. And it is not just Benue and Taraba states that have faced violent conflict leading to the death of many. In recent months, similar conflicts have been reported in Zamfara, Adamawa and Kaduna states. More worrisome is the nature of injury inflicted by the attackers. Proximity of medical facilities to areas where attacks are carried out, and the time it takes for the cavalry to come in the form of first responders or security forces.
Within 4 days. It was more than 4 days.
It took 4 days.
It wasn't more than 4 days.
The response team to come here.
And then the mobile came here.
The response across the country, especially in the hinterland, is particularly not good. Okay? And even if we had a good response and the areas involved are not safe, do you expect emergency workers to go there? Even the policemen who are standing there are becoming cheap targets. So we must look at prevention first.
Some of them was taken to hospital in Cameroon, but they have recovered.
How far is the hospital in Cameroon?
From here to Banso is about 60 kilometers. Yes.
And how were they transported there?
They were carried on the head from here to the border side before they got cars and were taken to the hospital.
They were carried
on the head. By manpower.
By manpower.
Yes, to the border before
walked.
before they get cars.
States to the south have also reported conflict between farmers and herders. This, alongside the brutal Boko Haram insurgency, cult-like killings in Ikorodu in Lagos, and violent gang-like killings in River State, are perhaps the reasons why Nigeria is now ranked last out of 127 countries in the World Internal Security and Police Index. That is, behind countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, and Yemen, both of which are more or less embroiled in a civil war.